today's lecture, we will discuss the last topic which comes under female reproductive system, that is mammary gland. Here you can see the sectional view of the mammary gland, right? So if we finish this topic, we are going to finish the female reproductive system. Then we can start the next topic, oogenesis. Let's go with the mammary gland. Now, the female reproductive system along with the mammary glands, right? They help to support the processes like, what are the processes? Fertilization, then next one is parturition, childbirth, ovulation, all those things, right? Then if we see, what are mammary glands? Mammary glands are modified sweat glands, and they are paired structures. They are modified sweat glands. They are paired structures. They are functional in female mammals. They are vestigial in male mammals, right? So they are functional in female mammals and are vestigial in males. In females, they are functional. In males, they are vestigial. Now, what are they? Are they simple glands or compound glands? Here you can see it's a complex structure. So, they are compound glands. So, are they clusters or are they tube-like structures through which the milk is coming out? So, they are tube-like structures. So, we can tell they are compound, they are tubular, they have sacs where the milk is produced, which is called alveoli. So, they are saccular glands, they are paired structures, right? So, we can write all those points. So, they are compound, tubular, saccular glands, right? And these glands are meant for producing the milk. And where are they present? They are two rounded structures located in front of the thoracic prominence, means behind thoracic vertebrae will be there. In front, we can find the mammary gland. So, they are milk producing glands. Where are they located? They are located inside the thoracic prominence, and that region is called as breast region. So, they are milk producing glands, right? They are milk producing glands. Where are they seen? Seen inside the thoracic prominence. Seen inside thoracic prominence. And what do? They are seen inside the thoracic prominence and they are called as breasts. And are called breast. Now, if you see each breast, it is a broad multiporous erectile tissue. It has an erectile tip which is called as nipple. So, we told they are paired structures. Now, each breast has a broad erectile tip. Now, what is that broad erectile tip which is present in each breast called as? This region is called as nipple. Through this region, the milk oozes out, right? So, each breast contains a broad erectile tip which is called as nipple, through which the milk oozes out. Now, around this nipple has many porous structures, multi-porous structures. You can see here. So, each lactiferous duct is opening outside through a pore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So, we tell that nipple is multiporous structure. It is a multiporous structure, and around the nipple there is a pigmented region. You can see I made with red color here. Around the nipple there is a circular pigmented region which is called as areola. So, around the nipple, what can we see? A pigmented region. What is that pigmented region called? It is called areola. What does this areola contain? It contains circular muscles. Areola contains circular muscles. It contains nerve endings and it contains sebaceous glands. Around the nipple, there is a pigmented region. That pigmented region is called areola. this areola, what does it contain? It contains circular muscles. It contains nerve endings and sebaceous glands. Right? So, what is the function of the mammary gland? To nourish the young one during lactation, right? Each breast, if you see, this is a sectional view of a mammary gland. Each one contains lobes. How many lobes are there? If you see, this is one lobe, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. So, I could draw 7. Behind, some more will be there. So, that means each breast contains around 15 to 20 lobes, which are called as mammary lobes. And again, if you see one lobe, we have divided that lobe into again lobules. So, that means on an average, each breast contains 15 to 20 mammary lobes. And again, each lobe is further divided into mammary lobules. Inside the lobules, we find these sac-like structures where the milk is generated, produced, which is called alveoli. Now, this is a place, alveoli is a place where milk gets generated. What is that hormone which helps in milk production? Prolactin is a hormone which helps in synthesizing the milk. And prolactin is which hormone? Prolactin is anterior pituitary hormone. Okay. Now, we are talking about 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Mammary lobes are further divided into mammary lobules. Inside the lobule, sac-like structures are there. They are called alveoli. Inside the alveoli, milk is produced under the influence of the anterior pituitary hormone called prolactin. Now, after the milk gets produced, where is the milk stored? It is stored inside the lumen of the alveoli. This is the alveoli and the middle place is called lumen. The milk gets stored in the lumen of the alveoli. And if it has to come out, so from these alveoli, you can see alveolar ducts, or we can call them as, we wrote here, they are called as mammarian tubules, right? So, if you see, we'll just take a bigger view and see. So, what is this? This is called mammary lobe. How many such lobes are there? I'm telling there are 15 to 20 lobes in each breast, right? Now, again, each lobe is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lobules it is divided. And inside, if you see, there are sac-like structures. Now, what are these sac-like structures called? These sac-like structures where the milk is generated are called alveoli. So, these structures are called alveoli. Now, when will the alveoli secrete milk? Under the presence of a milk generating hormone, milk producing hormone called prolactin, which is an anterior pituitary hormone. It is an anterior pituitary hormone which produces the milk. Now, under the influence of anterior pituitary hormone, the alveoli will secrete the milk. Now, the secreted milk, where it will be stored? It will be stored inside the lumen of the alveoli. The milk is stored here. The milk is stored in the lumen of the alveoli. Now, when it has to come out, so tubules will be there. Now, these tubules through which the milk is coming out are called as, what are they called? They are called mammary tubules. Now, see, from each alveoli, I am taking a tubule out. Now, all these are called mammary tubules. What are they called? They are called mammary tubules. Now, all these tubules are connected to a duct. Now, let me join all these things to make a mammary duct. See, I am joining all these things to make a mammary duct. Now, this mammary duct opens out. Now, if these are mammary tubules, what is this called? This is called mammary duct. Now, this mammary duct opens outside. This mammary duct opens outside and it comes out. Many such mammary ducts will join. So, this is one mammary duct, right? This is one mammary duct. From here, another mammary duct will come. From here, another mammary duct will come. All these ducts will join to make a swelling. That swelling, many mammary ducts will join to make a swelling. That swelling is called as ampulla, right? That swelling is called as ampulla. This is the ampulla region. And these ampulla regions opens into ducts again. Those ducts are called lactiferous duct. Each ampulla opens into its specific lactiferous duct. Now, this lactiferous duct opens outside again by a specific pore. It opens by a specific pore which opens on the nipple, right? So if you see the path, once in NEET examination, they have asked you this path, children. Now, if you can, they can ask you from this side also, they can ask you from this side also. From the area, excuse me, from the area where it is generated to the area where it is released. If they are asking, first is generated in the alveoli. From the alveoli, it comes into mammary tubules. From the mammary tubules, it comes into mammary duct. Many mammary ducts will join to make one ampulla. Ampulla opens into a lactiferous duct. The lactiferous duct opens at the nipple through a pore, through a multiporous structure. Understood? So this is the path of milk generation. Right? If you want to take a screenshot, quickly take a screenshot. Right. What are mammary glands? They are modified sweat glands. Where are they present? In the thoracic prominence. What is the shape? Rounded shape structures. So what points we can tell? Is it a simple tissue or a complex gland? It's a complex gland. It has tubules inside. It has saccule-like structures inside. The sacs are called, what are the sacs called where milk is generated? Alveoli. If you have to write on, let's write on. So milk is produced in sacs called, what are the sacs called? The sacs are called alveoli. Under the influence of which hormone is the milk generated? Under the influence of prolactin. Under the influence of prolactin, which is an anti-repituitary hormone. This hormone influences the alveolar cells to generate the milk, right? Now, the milk gets stored. After it gets generated, the milk gets stored. Where is it stored? It is stored in the alveolar lumen. Now, if from the lumen, if it has to release out, what is the path? I told from the alveoli lumen, first it comes into the tubules. They are called mammary tubules. All the mammary tubules which are present in a lobe. This is one lobe, second lobe. How many lobes are there? There are 15 to 20 lobes in each mammary gland. Now, these mammary tubules will join. They will join to make a mammary duct. Mammary tubules will join to make a mammary duct. And this mammary duct opens into ampulla. Many mammary ducts we can write, right? Many such mammary ducts open. Where do they open? They open into a swelled portion called ampulla. They open into swelled region. What is that called? Ampulla. And from ampulla, it gets connected to a duct called lactiferous duct. Ampulla opens into lactiferous duct. And this lactiferous duct opens at the nipple through a pore. Children, this is the path where the milk will travel. Understood? Now, milk production is under the influence of a hormone called prolactin. This prolactin is an anterior pituitary hormone. Whereas milk ejection, when the muscles there, when the breast muscles contract, then the milk gets released out. The smooth muscles of the breast, when they contract, milk gets released out. Now, in the body, what is that hormone which helps in contraction of the smooth muscles in the females? Means it is oxytocin. Oxytocin is a posterior pituitary hormone. So that means release of milk. Milk production, if you tell, milk production is under the control of prolactin. From lactiferous ducts, we will write it goes into nipple. Milk production is under the control of prolactin, and this prolactin, it is an anterior pituitary hormone, whereas Milk secretion, if you tell, milk secretion is by another hormone called oxytocin. Milk secretion is under the influence of other hormone called oxytocin. This oxytocin is released from the posterior pituitary. It's a posterior pituitary hormone, isn't it? Understood? Or any doubts? So we have seen the structure of the mammary gland, and what are these green colored structures? So these are fatty tissues. The green colored structures are fatty tissues. The mammary lobes are separated by fibrous tissue also, dense fibrous tissue also. They are also separated by adipose tissue also. Can I write it here? The mammary lobules are separated. They are separated from one another. They are separated from one another by what? By dense fibrous tissue and adipose tissue. By dense fibrous tissue, they are separated, and there is adipose tissue also. There is adipose tissue also. Now, when we see the parts of the mammary gland, now this region, the broad structure which is having multi-pore structure, is called as nipple. It is an erectile tissue. Now, this is surrounded by a pigmented region, circular pigmented region, which is called areola. It has circular muscles, it has nerve endings, it has sebaceous glands. Then inside, if you see, there are at the nipple, there are lactiferous ducts which are opening. Then these lactiferous ducts will open into ampulla. Ampulla will open into mammary duct. Now inside, how many lobes are there? 15 to 20 lobes are there. And these are separated by dense fibrous connective tissue and adipose tissue. And we told, so these are rounded structures which are located inside the thoracic prominence. Means these are thoracic vertebrae. These are thoracic vertebrae, and this is a muscle between the ribs. This is a muscle between the ribs, and they told this one is called as pectoralis major muscle, which supports the breast. What is that muscle called? This black colored region is called as pectoralis major muscle, and these are the ribs. These are the ribs. Adjacent to the ribs they are located. Understood till here? Now, what is that process during which the female starts releasing the milk? It is after childbirth, and the process is called as lactation. Now, milk is produced at the time of lactation, followed by childbirth. Correct? Now, the first milk which is secreted by the mother, what is it called? Colostrum. Take a screenshot. We'll write it on the board. Right. So we understood the hormones which are responsible for making the milk and the hormones which are responsible for releasing the milk, and we have seen the structure also in detail. Now, when we talk about the period where the milk gets secreted, so that is called, it happens after parturition. Milk production, it starts when? After childbirth. Parturition, right? What is the process called? It's called parturition. Milk production starts after childbirth. So what is that period where milk is produced, which is called lactation? The process is called as lactation. Now, during lactation, the first milk which gets released by the mother will be yellow in color. It will be pale yellow colored milk. Okay, what is this pale yellow colored milk? It is the first milk, and it is called as colostrum. That milk is called as colostrum, and this colostrum is considered to be good because it is rich in the secretory antibody called IgA. The first released milk during the time of lactation will be pale yellow colored. It is called as colostrum, and it is rich in secretory antibody. What is that called? IgA, immunoglobulin A. So till then, the mother is protecting the child. Through the placenta, IgG antibodies will go and they'll protect the child. Afterwards, when the child is born, when the physical contact between the baby and the mother is lost, then immediately the mother starts producing IgA antibodies. So when the baby takes it for few days, the baby will have that immunity, because the baby still can't generate the immune system or still can't generate the antibodies on their own. So through the mother, they take this IgA antibody and it will allow them to survive from infections. So they'll not get infections. Understood? Now, apart from this IgA, so mother's milk is diluted. It is a diluted milk. It's not like cow's milk and buffalo's milk, which is concentrated. It is diluted, but it is rich in vitamins, minerals, rich in simple sugars. Then it is low in fat. Mother's milk is rich in sugars, vitamins and minerals, but it is low in fat. Newborn baby cannot digest fat. Fat is hard to digest. So they have, mother's milk is low in fat. Now, properly lactating women, so they release 1 to 2 liters of milk a day. They release 1 to 2 liters of milk a day. Now, when we talk about the conditions, abnormalities, so in some women, the breast will be small in size. What is that condition called? It's called hypomastia. Hypomastia. The proportion of the breast will be according to the body dimensions. But in some people, if it is less, we call it as a hypomastia, means small sized breast. Now, another condition is also that hypermastia. Then what is hypermastia? Hypermastia means, what can we tell? We can tell it's excess growth of the breast, right? It is excess growth of breast. And in genetic disorders, we studied in Klinefelter syndrome, in males, breast development will happen because in that the condition is XXY. The male have 2 X chromosomes, sex chromosomes as that of female. So estrogen production will happen. What is the disorder called? Klinefelter syndrome, which is a genetic disorder. So then those males will have enlargement of the breast. What is that condition called? Gynecomastia. What is that condition called? Gynecomastia. Where do you find this gynecomastia? Gynecomastia is found in Klinefelter syndrome. Now, what is Klinefelter syndrome? It is XXY condition. Actually, males means they should have X and Y. But because of the presence of extra X chromosome, what happens? Estrogen production will be there. So, in the males, in these males, estrogen levels are high. When the estrogen levels are high, then the breast development starts, right? So, that condition in Klinefelter syndrome, because of the extra X chromosome, so development of breast in males we will tell. What is gynecomastia? It is development of breast in males. Development of breast in males is called gynecomastia. So, all this is the information related to breast. Understood? If we have to summarize, what are mammary glands? Presence of mammary gland is a characteristic feature of Mammalia class, right? And they are meant to nourish the young one. They are not simple glands, they are compound glands. They have tubules inside, they are saccules inside. And they are functional in females, they are vestigial in males. Where are they located? In the thoracic prominence. What is this erectile region called? Nipple. It is surrounded by a circular region which is having circular muscles called areola. Inside each breast will have 15 to 20 mammary lobules. The lobules are further divided into, lobes are divided into lobules. Inside the milk producing structure is called alveoli. We have seen the path also. The process of production of milk is called lactation, which occurs after parturition. The first released milk is called colostrum. It is rich in antibody IgA, but it will be diluted milk, but it is rich in vitamins, minerals and sugar, but the fat content will be less. So, properly lactating mother releases 1 to 2 liters of milk per day, and the abnormalities, if you have to discuss, if the breasts are less in size, that's called hypomastia. If excess growth happens, hypermastia. There is a genetic disorder which is called Klinefelter syndrome. There the males will have 1 extra X chromosome. Because of that XX female condition, in males, female sex hormone estrogen levels will be there. Because of this estrogen, in males, breast development will happen. That is called as gynecomastia. Hope you understood in detail about the mammary gland. Now in the next session, we can start with oogenesis. So any comments, you can post it in the comment box. If you like the lecture, so give a thumb and please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.